Citizen FM, Abuja.
Welcome to the Citizen FM News at 6. I am Lawrence Umoiti. The Economic Community of West African States has ordered its standby force to restore constitutional order in Niger Republic. The president of ECOWAS Commission, Omar Thur, made the declaration while reading the resolution of ECOWAS on the Niger coup at the ECOWAS extraordinary meeting in Abuja this evening. ECOWAS said all efforts made to dialogue with the Niger Republic military junta have been defiantly rejected by coup leaders as they condemn continuous detention of President Mohamed Bazoum and his family members.
Of the Commission to monitor the implementation of the sanctions. Direct the Committee of the Chief of Defense Staff to activate the ECOWAS standby force with all its elements immediately. Order the deployment of the ECOWAS standby force to restore constitutional order in the Republic of Niger. Underscore its continued commitment to the restoration of constitutional order through peaceful means. Express appreciation to His Excellency General Abdulsalami Abubakar, His Eminence Muhammad Saad Abubakar, the Sultan of Sokoto, Ambassador Baba Kingibe for the special envoys undertaken.
It also called on African Union partners, countries and institutions to support the resolution taken by the sub-regional body.
States who, by their action directly or indirectly, hinder the peaceful resolution of the crisis in Niger, about the consequences for their action before the community. Call on the African Union to endorse all the decisions taken by the ECOWAS authority on the situation in Niger. Further call on all partner countries and institutions, including the United Nations, to support ECOWAS in its effort to ensure a quick restoration of constitutional order in conformity with its normative instruments.
Earlier today, the chairman of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Governments, President Bola Tinubu, has said the regional bloc would continue to champion diplomacy and dialogue, as well as earnest discussion with all parties involved to restore constitutional governance in the Republic of Niger.
We still look to engage the party involved, including the coup leaders, in honest discussion to convince them to relinquish power as suggested and reinstate President Bazoum. It is our duty to exhaust all avenues of engagement to ensure a swift return to constitutional governance in Niger. More specifically, as leaders of our respective nations, we must recognize that the political crisis in Niger not only poses a threat to the stability of the nations, but also has far-reaching implications for the entire West African region.
The ECOWAS chairman expressed confidence that the second bloc's extraordinary summit would be a defining moment in the journey towards a stronger, more resilient and integrated West Africa.
Regrettably, the 7-day ultimatum we issued during the fourth summit has not yielded the desired outcome. We have also made diligent effort through the deployment of various ECOWAS mediation teams. I'm glad Abdulsalam Abubakar is here, His Eminence is here, Baba Konogingibe is here to give you their report and their observation during the intervention. I must, on behalf of every one of you, show gratitude to them.
Citizen FM's Omole Timothy reports that the opening ceremony was attended by presidents of Guinea-Bissau, Senegal, Côte d'Ivoire, Ghana, Benin Republic, Sierra Leone, and Togo. Others are Liberia and the Gambia. Meanwhile, Islamic leaders on the platform of Council of Ulamas have gotten President Bola Tinubu's approval to mediate in the Niger coup situation. The Islamic clerics got the president's approval when they visited the president at the presidential villa in Abuja to seek his permission to mediate in the crisis. Acting Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetukun has launched the Standards Operating Procedure Manual for Schools Protection Squad and organized a workshop on the Safe Schools Initiative for Strategic Police Managers. This followed the recent establishment of Schools Protection Squad, a high-profile special unit for the protection of schools and educational institutions across the country. At the event, the IGP enumerated some of the strategies to be employed by the police in the achievement of the mandate.
The Nigerian Police Force, along with other stakeholders, has played an instrumental role in charting this roadmap to achieve the objectives of the National Plan on Safe Schools in Nigeria.
Nigeria's Vice President Kashim Shettima has inaugurated the reconstituted board and management of the Northeast Development Commission. It tasked the new board to prioritize access to quality education, healthcare, and economic opportunities. The Vice President gave the charge in his remarks at the inauguration of the board and management of the NEDC at the presidential villa.
It's not just an institution, but also a symbol of our collective determination to reflect the narrative of this region, to rewrite the story of the anguish into one of revival and triumph. The Northeast Development Commission is here to catalyze the access to quality education, healthcare, economic opportunities, among other things. The Commission can only guarantee the safety of the emerging and future generations if it nurtures the seeds that will produce them.
The National and State House of Assembly Elections Petition Tribunal in Kano State has rendered a landmark decision nullifying the election victory of Thur from the New Nigeria People's Party as the House of Representatives member for Turani Federal Constituency. The tribunal's three-man panel led by Justice L.P. Chima ruled that Yerima's victory was invalid due to the alleged forgery of his primary school certificate, which had been submitted to the Independent National Electoral Commission. Justice Chima, while delivering the tribunal's decision, stated that after a thorough examination of the evidence presented before them, it had been established beyond reasonable doubt that Mukhtar Yerima submitted a forged primary school certificate to INEC. Governors of the 5 southeast states today met at the government house in Enugu. Today's meeting marks the first to be held among the 5 governors since the inauguration of new governors into office on May 29, 2023. It was gathered that one of the things that featured prominently on the agenda was the issue of Monday's sit-at-home in the region and the demand for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, who had been in the custody of the DSS since June 2021. Meanwhile, Governor Alex Oti of Imo State has launched Operation Crush, a security initiative designed to tackle crime in the state. Speaking while launching the scheme at the event center in Okpara Square, Umuahia, Governor Oti said the program is a strong and coordinated response to the lingering insecurity in the state.
Operation is technically set up to swiftly identify, analyze, and respond to security threats from within any part of the state. As the code name indicates, the goal is to counter with necessary force any incidents of kidnapping, armed robbery, and other forms of violent crime anywhere in the state. From this day, announce to those who delight in bringing pain to families and communities that no part of the state shall be safe for them again.
Responding on behalf of other security chiefs in the state, the Commissioner of Police in Abia State, Kenechukwu Onwemele said the security is not about talking, but doing the needful behind the scene. The police chief thanked the governor for demonstrating a commitment to ensure high level of security in the state.
Limits of the available resources to us, both human and material, and also counting on the unflinching support of the governor and his lieutenants. We shall do our best to ensure that his vision for security in Abia State is met.
And on the foreign scene, Zimbabwe's President Emerson Mnangagwa on Wednesday told Zimbabweans that they would be lost if they failed to re-elect him in a clarion call for them to vote for him in the upcoming election. The president also told his supporters that they would suffer if they voted for the opposition, whom he termed as clueless failures. Regardless, the president said that nobody will stop him or his party from winning the election. And in sport, Bayern Munich and Tottenham have agreed a deal in principle for England captain Harry Kane worth more than 100 million euros. Kane, who is 30 years now, has 1 year left on his contract with Spurs and must now make a decision about whether or not to leave. The forward is Tottenham's all-time top scorer with 280 goals in 435 appearances. And that's it on Citizen FM News at 6. I am Lawrence Umoite. Good evening.